Here we are, Brakencor, coming along quite nicely. There's detail to be done on the lower half of the quadrithesia, but it is mostly done. So I'm actually focused on the tops of the spires at the moment. As you can see, I have put in place some extra ring just to complete the picture a little better. Beforehand you had this big block here and just this little bit here, so I've added in this entire section going across the water and extended this out as far as the water to try and just give it a little bit more cohesion, I suppose, as a picture, something along those lines. I'm relatively happy with this piece. I'm not too sure about messing around with the roof here, but yeah, it didn't come out too bad. I would like to do something a little bit better and underneath. Just to fill it in, I suppose. It just looks a little barren when you come across it like this. Plus there needs to be some barriers, I suppose, put in. But yeah, it's not completely done down on this level, but it was pretty good enough to continue doing the major, push on with the major work on the spires, which I knew were going to be a lot of work, not quite in this way. Late in the day, I had this idea to put in another building down here, as well as up here, and this is much bigger than I planned it to be. And on the one hand, it means I don't have a tremendous amount of this detail to put in, like normal. On the other hand, it's still a lot of building work, so, you know. Took away one, put it back with the other. As you can see, the lower walkways have had 3 different approaches for the roof. The actual original roof was just completely flat all the way across. I had this idea afterwards, but as you can see here, it's perhaps a little too close to the light, and I can't shorten these light chains because it would become overly short. So on this one I spaced them out differently. I wanted to put in more, but rather than putting more on here, I just decided to experiment with the roof. And I've also begun experimenting with this to see how I can enclose it around a tower, maybe. Now, this one has come out a little better. Give or take. I could just extend it over. Probably make the most sense. I could also actually, I think with the final one, this one, I'm going to go peak roof here, and the extra roof here, and then the middle will be flat, and this will be flat up until this point. I was all set to do an extension out this side with like a full 5 blocks, and then I realised that it would block in the light well, so that went on hold. Not actually sure what I've done over here to support it. Oh, went a little bit OTT, didn't I? So, in addition to all of the stuff that's done up there, I put this roof on, obviously. It's not finished, again. It's barricading here. But I do feel it's a little bland and a little nothing, really. So I'm going to try and think of a way that I can properly dress this up. Kind of like something along this line, but a little more. Just to see if I can get rid of the weird angles on some of it and give it a nicer overall finish. Make it a little bit nicer to just simply look at, you know, because right now it ain't nothing special. But yeah, outside of that, I've got a tremendous amount of decoration to do on the lower levels, and then there's additional buildings to go in, but you know, that's probably a couple of weeks away at least. Although you can see I started something there. This is just going to be flat. There's no buildings here, but there's buildings here and around this section. So yeah, there's a while to go. Still, this is gonna keep me busy for quite a bit still. But I shall put a halt on the YouTube, cutting it off later, and say adieu.